Hello and welcome to Tobi's Brick Space. My name is Tobi and today I'm introducing you to another new Lumibricks release, the L9071, the Castle Banquet Hall, consisting of 3,232 pieces, 7 minifigures, 15 LEDs and 42 printed bricks. All this for a retail price on the website of 188 euros. And let's take a look at what the set can do for the money in this video. Let's start with the box, which as always is well made. We have a nice design on the front, which I definitely like. Surrounding it, yes, mainly safety instructions. However, we can open the box very easily, and inside we have first of all the LED kit box, and then we also have the instructions. There are 3 of them. And here I have a bag that was open and the bricks, or a few of them, were loose inside. At the end of the day, nothing was missing, everything was there. But of course, it was a bit annoying. Then we can throw all the bricks out this box, and I always find it very satisfying to see everything here lying on the table. Here's a brief overview of the 13 building steps included. Bag F contains the special parts for cabling and minifigures. Bag S contains connected prints and the larger plates, and all the individual parts that were losing in the bag, or rather in the box. Next, we will move on to the orange LED kit box, which is also nicely sealed and can then be opened again. Then we have another safety warning card, and we have 2 LED kit bags containing all the LED components, battery box for 3 AA batteries, which are not included. You will have to get them separately. And we have tweezers for laying the cables and the screwdriver for the battery box, obviously. Here you can see at a glance all 15 LEDs and the remaining components we will be installing here. Next up are the instructions. There are 3 of them. The first has 173 pages and 249 steps. The second has 174 pages and 261 steps. And the third and final instruction book has 222 pages and 307 steps. This brings us to a total of 569 pages and 817 steps, which is quite a lot. We have the beautiful design on the front, like the one on the box, and the QR code, meaning we can also use the whole thing as a PDF. And then it starts here again with a short introductory text about the set in English and Chinese, as has been customary since Lumibricks. Then it continues with the information about the set. Minifigures have names again, and there's a little story behind it all. I find it very interesting that they're doing this. And then it continues, yes, again in various languages, with what's included and the LED kit box contents. And then, of course, you should also check the LEDs before you build the set, so that it doesn't turn out later that the LED is defective or something else, or one of the components at all. So as I said, as always, test the LEDs before you build the set. Then you start building the minifigures. The service card is still in here. I forgot about it. It's usually on the first page. There you have the contact details, so you can report anything wrong with the set. And then you start with the first building step. The instructions, as always, are very easy to understand. Everything is top notch. Let's move on to the minifigures first. Then I will give you a little insight into how to build the set. There are 7 cute minifigures in the set. I will also show you the names and functions of one of the minifigures in the background. The minifigures are very nicely printed, I have to say, and I really like the fabric parts too. Some of the minifigures have twisty faces. The guy here, for example, has a happy face and then a twisty face. That's a bit more serious, but I definitely like the happier one better. Then we have the lady here, who also has a hallucinated face. I think that's because the minifigure in the green one is some kind of rubber or something. You're actually making up a guy as a lady, I think, and then the dress is up as the lady in the brown dress. So that's kind of how it's intended. I don't know exactly. And then the lady here has a spiral face. Yes, here this friendly smile, and here again one where she is laughing and very happy with her red cheeks. I don't like this hair. Here though, we had it in the L9063 too, where the crown is in the same color as the hair, and the hair is made of a kind of hard plastic. I don't really like that solution. It's not that good. Also, there is this head part from this guy here, and that's like dual molded, but I think here is this part between the eyes of the hair. It looks like a knight's helmet. I don't know exactly. I don't like that either. I don't know if he has bangs hanging down between his eyes. It looks a bit weird. Otherwise, yes, nicely printed minifigure like the others. And now I'm going to show you the first couple of building steps so that you can see exactly what's going on in the underground, how it was built. And after the first building step, the whole thing looks like this. We've already built the entrance a bit with these two beacons, and then we have here again, that's also very interesting. I will talk about what we have here later. In any case, the underground, how the cables are laid here, that's really nice and well done. It's also the advantage of these jacked up models, of course, that you can lay the cables in the underground very well like that. After the second building step, we expanded the entire base plate a bit, and we already have the first beautiful connected print here in the entrance area. We also have a few gaps underneath. There seems to be a treasure chamber or something like that down here. We continue with the third construction step, and here we have built the entire base area, so that takes up quite a bit of space. It's getting tight on the table. Here do you have a complete overview of what the whole thing looks like here. It was really fun to build, so my girlfriend continued building for me later on. I really liked the tool. It's kind of one of the coolest sets for her in terms of building experience. And yes, here you can see again how the cables are hidden here. I think it's really nice that they're not hanging on the wall on the outside. I like that, and they also run underground here. It's been propped up a bit because the tower will be attached at the back, and yes, I like how the whole thing is built. In the third building step, we have a small kind of kitchen here, which is in the rear area of the hall, and we also have a nice little light here, which will definitely create a kind of passageway behind this, and is already indicated. And we can of course open up the wall at the back so that we can get a view of the interior, which is definitely nice because you can see ovens and a few other things that are still hidden inside. From now on, the documentation or the detailed documentation ends, because from then on my girlfriend continued building for me when I did the last review. And she didn't really take any videos, just a few photos. I will put a few in the background, but I don't blame her. So I'll just show you the finished model now. After 13 building steps, the whole thing is here in front of us, and it's quite a beast, you have to say. We have a width of 40 centimeters, a depth of 30 centimeters, and a height of 40 centimeters. That's really a massive device, especially when this is standing in front of you like this. You really have to find a space for that. And I think we should just start. Where better to start than here at the front? We have, yes, a very nice facade, I have to say. Although just around here it's a bit too gray for me. I don't know how it could have been designed differently. It's a bit monotonous for me. Perhaps more of these bricks you could have fit in here with this brick look, but well, it's difficult, of course, with the knitted roof, since we don't have such elements in this kind. Let's start at the top where we have this trailer hitch. I don't know why it has to be exactly this kind of trailer hitch here. Then we have a beautiful print on this plate. I think it's supposed to be a coat of arms of the royal family, something like that. A little further down we have this window with this beautiful printed part. It's also printed in different colors, and it shimmers through so beautifully. You have to say on the camera, is this light a bit different than in reality? It's more balanced and indirect. I also think that we have this transparent Technic brick here, which closes the whole thing off and hasn't just left a gap. Golden elements, of course, they are very nice. The rest of the facade is also very nice. Here handcuffs are simply used as decorative elements. That's very cool. And also I really like this white and the color scheme at all. The entrance area is here, of course, characterized by these two large doors two beautifully printed windows, which are also slightly yellowish. That comes through better when I turn off my lighting. The two fireplaces here in the front pulsate up and down, and this spot here is very interesting. Anyone who knows Cyberpunk Neon City sets or the modulars for them will know that this is used to place another set with the matching counterpart against it, where the electricity is then transmitted, and then at the end of the day, only one set, so to speak, where the power goes in, and that transmits the power to all the other sets, which means that we're getting another set here, particularly interesting here, as there is a staircase leading up here, and it also seems a bit unfinished. So because there are no plates on to the representing the railing, which means that the another set will somehow be added here. I've also seen an Insta reel from Lumibricks. I'll try to display it when I remember. Namely, the first set that comes will be at the back, and I will show you that in a moment. Otherwise, we will continue with the roof construction here, which is sad. We can't lift out this roof on the left side because of that it is completely built up here. But it is beautifully built here with this roof construction. Here on top there's another small turret, which however is just empty. You can see that there isn't really anything going on there. Building the roof is one of the most monotonous things you can do in this set, but well, I mean, if you want to achieve this look here, then it's the construction type. For these half towers with this coat of arms on the front, which looks very nice, and also very, very nice here are the yellow printed window pieces, which of course looks very nice, especially in the dark. Even if you look from higher up here and you don't directly see the LEDs, it really does look nice here. Then we have the tower here, or rather the spire. These are larger molded parts here, will be delivered to you separately packed in the 12th building step. And here in the turret we also have another luminous or pulsating fireplace. And then we have another small exit here. It's not really that high, and for a minifigure it's also relatively narrow. And there you can see we have a small opening, which is kind of good now, either a cave opening or something, you might think, or it already has something to do with the other set that is coming, because we have the second connection point for another set here, and that is actually already been presented or rather released. As I said, I mentioned it before, and that will be attached here at the back. But that's not all, because we can remove this wall here, and then we can get a glimpse of the interior, that there is a ladder going up from which you can get to this balcony there. And here we have another small door, which is then basically a back door where you can then get into the Banquet Hall. And here it's very interesting now. On the one hand, we can get a glimpse of the interior. On the other hand, you can see this path leads to nowhere. That's really where the new set will dock. That means that the sets aren't just connected to each other with the PowerPoint. They're also planned to be connected so that it flows seamlessly into the next building. And I'm really, really excited to see how they implement that. We also have another distributor here where a few LED cables are connected. It's a bit less attractive how the cables are lying around here openly. Otherwise, we have the really ugly unclad Technic brick outside. Down here we have the other distributor box again. I already showed you it during the building phases. And here we have the special feature that we can open up this wall here, where we have the way to this hall here, a small lamp and a kitchen unit is inside. Here we have the roof on the right side. We can't remove that separately either. Otherwise we have the connection point for the LED cable and the USB cable here. It's just laying around like this. The constructions also don't say that you should stick it here or anything like that. I think because the set has attachment options at the back, on the front, on the back, that means this will be a set which where there won't be much going on at the back, or rather that it will be hidden here by the other set that comes. We will see. Here we have the option of pulling something out of the underground, and these are just a few barrels here. I definitely think it's sad that the barrels are empty. Something could have easily be inside there. And here we can now pull on this part, and in doing it, so take out this entire element, which can be easily pulled out and pulled in back. Then we have this whole element in front of us, which is basically the inside of this Banquet Hall from the right side. Here we have nicely printed parts above with blue, I don't know what it's supposed to be, carpets or something. Very nicely printed parts here. And then down here again, some very nicely printed parts plus a key. Otherwise, it's rock solidly built. Here you can also see what the roof construction looks like from below. And that brings us to this beautiful view inside. Beautiful, except for these open Technic bricks. I have to criticize that right away. They could have been easily covered up. I don't understand why they do that. Simply because it ruins the look here in the open version in my eyes. Here we have an idea. Yes, the main light source. Here is, of course, this beautiful chandelier, which hangs from the ceiling from above. Then we have LEDs up here, which give the whole thing a bit of light. But down at the window, you can see, for example, there's another LED at the back. And this is this Banquet Hall here. We have this main area in the lower part here. You can take the table and the chairs out here too. It has a small dance floor then. We also have this coat of arms everywhere with this beautiful prints everywhere. Up the stairs here, then there's a passage to the next set. Here at the back we have a small corridor, but there's not really anything there. On this side here we also can see another coat of arms. I have no idea what that could mean. Can mean different things, but it definitely, it's interesting. Here again, the large window from the other side. What you can do now is take this table out, voila, as well as the chairs here. And then we have this table with the chairs and the party out of the inside and can basically eat outside also. It's neatly packed here, the whole table with glasses and this giant turkey here. It's very cool done, but it's just loosely in this little plate here though. So it could fall out. The candles unfortunately aren't lit. That would have been if they had something managed that. And then here below the table, a small battery box. That would have been very cool, I have to say. Of course, this now allows us a glimpse inside, and we can take this floor out, bang, bang, and then we have this little secret hiding place here. There's currently only an empty one barrel here, I think, but also in connection with the leak, there will be somehow the possibility of putting a treasure in here to hide it there. And I think it's said that the walls around the outside aren't covered, so that there aren't any stony bricks to show, okay, that's really the end here, because everything around is really open. I don't like that so much, and the studs are here used for the table or for the chairs are of course also great for placing all the minifigures here. It's sad, of course, that we can't sit the Lumibricks minifigures down. A viewer already wrote me a tip about that and also told me how she does it. Namely, she uses Pedifix to glue the minifigures to the chair so that they stay seated and sit, that's all. Because the whole thing is so high, it actually works very well when the minifigures are standing. What's also interesting here are these 3 studs that you can see here, that they are actually intended for you to place the minifigures here. You should squat the minifigures in here and then you can fold them up. And yes, they use this technique quite often with the cars, but I don't think it's particularly good for the ladies here with their skirts. But then you also have to deal with the fact that the minifigure is practically floating. You can see that it's not really sitting on the chair, but okay, it's definitely fixed to the table and doesn't fall off. All in all, I have to say it's a really harmonious picture. I like it, and yes, I think it's also great that there are actually quite a few studs in the interior that you can put minifigures there. I think it's a bit sad we unnecessarily open studs. like here at the back, for example, that doesn't really look good when you look closely. But this view here, for example, is just wow. Now let's come to a brief conclusion for the set. What I don't like, those are good general things like the pure points on some parts, that they are so prominent with certain colors. I think that's rather a poor point with such generally high quality. Then I don't like these open studs in the interior either, as I showed you in the interior under the ballroom. Let's say that there are no walls of this treasure chamber or of this hiding place, that there are no exterior walls. I don't think that's really great, and I would have also liked it if they had somehow at the option, let's say, to lever out the wall here at the front, like from the entrance or the whole entrance like that. That would definitely have worked somehow. So now you have, yes, from the left side, no view of the interior at all. From the right, you have to take down the whole wall, and from the front, we can only peek through the door a little bit, which makes the whole thing a little bit mysterious, enchanting, interesting also. What I don't like also is the cable routing here at the front, for example. I can't really hide it, the cable here. I think that's quite stupid. They should have somehow tucked it in between here, between this railing and the stone. It's very prominent and doesn't look particularly good. What I like are definitely all the prints here, the numerous prints. The lightning is great again, and the size of the set itself is also very, very impressive. Also, at the end of the day, I really like it a lot. Feel free to write me your opinion on the set and the review in the comments below, and check out the video description. I will link everything there. I personally ordered the set from Afobrick with a 10% discount, which I redeemed with points. So I got this set for just under 150 euros, and the 150 euros, which is less than 5 cents per piece, I think that's completely fine, simply because we have a lot of large bricks here. And yeah, but the retail price of 188 euros, I wouldn't recommend anyone buy that for that. Simply, well, I don't know, I generally don't like buying for the retail price. It's always better with a discount. You immediately have a better feeling. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching this video to the end. Take care, see you next time, and bye.